Hello, beloved tribe. Forgive me for being a minute or two late. I was just actually reminding myself of the 3 areas that we are going to be tapping on today. So this is the weekly reading reveal, and prompted by a really wonderful invitation, I guess, from one of my previous clients. She sent me a message asking for support around money blocks, around, in particular, she's looking at purchasing a property. It's a property that she's very excited about. She'd really like to be able to buy it, and it's bringing up a lot of fear for her, and fear of how is this going to happen, and all of the internal dialogue that comes up when, of course, we really want something. It takes it to another level. So why I loved this email so much, or this request for support so much, is because I've been looking for ways that I can offer the weekly reading in this group that isn't reliant on cards. It isn't reliant even on me telling you what you need to know, because as you know, my personal mission and the mission of the Institute is to activate your intuitive intelligence within you. And there's only one thing we need to do to come home to our intuitive power, our knowing, and to be absolutely in partnership with God, and that is to remove our fear. So tapping, as you know, is one of my favorite tools for moving fear out of the subconscious mind. And the reason this is so powerful is because the fears that we know we're afraid of, that level of fear is just the tip of the iceberg. Where the real cause where the deeper meaning of the suffering sits is in the subconscious mind, which is 90 to 95% of what we are, what motivates us. And our subconscious mind has a photographic memory of all of the hurts and wounds of our life. So every time we go to do something, we think we're making a reasonable, adult, well-reasoned decision from the reasoning conscious mind. And in fact, we're motivated by all of this unmet fear that's stored in the subconscious mind. And we need to clear that out. Because on the other side of that fear, in that basement full of boxes of fear, is the entry to heaven. It's the gates to the infinite consciousness. So literally, fear that is sitting trapped in your subconscious mind. Remembering, we're not talking about the psychological levels of mind, we're talking about the spiritual or metaphysical or transpersonal levels of mind. That is part of your energy anatomy, your subtle anatomy. And so if you have fear trapped in your subtle anatomy, that is blocking your natural connection or flow state with the infinite, that is trying to commune with you all of the time to give you the answers to your life. So I want to support you not to be told by someone outside of you what you need to know, what's the next best step for your life, or even, you know, some really wonderful intuitive guidance. I want you to meet that guidance within you by becoming fearless. So tapping is one of the easiest and most profound ways that we have to share. And what we get when we tap as a group is exponentially increased benefits. Now, even if the language that I'm using as I go through these tapping algorithms isn't exactly right for you, I want you to understand, as came up in a conversation in another post this morning, that all fear is one fear. It's fear. It doesn't matter how it manifests, whether we are looking at, I believe I'm facially flawed, I believe that I have money blocks and I'm blocking the flow of abundance into my life, or if I believe I'm unworthy. All of that is fear. It's just fear in its many, many different forms. And the ego has so many ways to intimidate us with fear. But when we look at it and go, all fear is one fear, it empowers us to know that it doesn't really matter what we tap on. As the beautiful Gail O'Keefe said at a workshop at Artful recently, you know, if you don't know what to tap on when you wake up feeling bad one day, just go fear, 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 because it's anything that is taking you out of a love state, which is your natural state, is fear. So it's very exciting to me to get to share this opportunity with you now to get fearless together, because that is really what we're doing. And in that fearless state, you will instantly know what is right action for your life. And in the case of the woman who asked me to support her with this particular tapping today, even if your heart is desiring this property, if it doesn't happen that you can attain it, you will absolutely trust and know that the infinite is working on your side, because it cannot be any other way. But let's go back to the question that it started with, which is, or the invitation that started it, which is, how do I clear that fear block around money? So there's 3 tapping cycles we're going to go through. If you're here with me and you can, I encourage you to do all of them, no matter which one you've chosen. Because as we said, you get borrowed benefits when you tap, even if you're tapping on behalf of someone else, or you're tapping on things you go, well, that's not actually my issue. I don't actually think I'm fatally flawed. You're still moving fear out of your subconscious basement. And it's every opportunity I get to tap, I don't care what I'm tapping on, whether I think it's my personal issue or not, there's a good chance that somewhere in your subconscious basement, you have some unmet fear that fits into one of these 3 categories. Yeah, so coffee break. Don't tell Emma Turner I'm still drinking coffee. I will quit very soon. But anyway, that's another thing. Maybe after I've tapped 3 times with you lot, I won't need to drink coffee anymore. I'll have overcome that particular issue. Okay, so let's begin with the first one. This was the least popular choice, which really interested me because I've taken this directly from The Big Leap. If you haven't read The Big Leap, I encourage you to do so. It's on the reading list for the 3rd level. The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks says that we upper limit, or we hit our capacity for good feeling, for 4 primary reasons. And the most common reason that everybody has deep down in that subconscious basement is that I am fatally flawed. There's something wrong with me, therefore my life will never be able to do what I see other people's lives doing. I will never attain the success. I will never have that relationship, happiness that I desire. I am the problem. Someone else, other people can have those kinds of dreamy lives because they are not fatally flawed like I am. So I'm paraphrasing that, but it's a really interesting idea that I think actually underpins most people's fear. So let's go in. I intuit when I tap. So I'm going to be intuiting those people who are on the call live with me, but I'm also going to be intuiting for anyone who is joining us later, listening back to this, because of course remember that there is no time and space. At the quantum level, which is your true nature, all is one. So no matter when you listen to this, know that I have been intuiting from your subconscious fear. And even, as I said, even if the words don't sound exactly like your specific area of fear, all fear is one fear. So when I intuit, which is how I encourage you to do your own tapping rather than following scripts, you're just going to basically open a dialogue to that interior part of yourself and to that subconscious mind, which is a level of your energy body or your subtle anatomy. Okay, so let's go into this. If you're here with me now, you're part of both the team that is serving and the team that is receiving. And let me just get comfortable in my chair, and I'm just going to invite you all to take a deep breath in if you're able to right now. If not, don't worry. Close your eyes. Deep breath in through the nose, let it go. And we're just withdrawing our attention from the superficial world and going into the world within the world. Just inviting all of you to come home to the ever-present now. Excellent. Okay. And with tapping, if you haven't done it before, it's very simple. You're just going to copy everything I say and do. And if you have done it before and I'm doing it slightly differently, don't worry. There are slight variations on a theme with tapping, but that really doesn't make any difference to the results and to the outcome of what you will be experiencing. And if you've chosen A, which is I am fatally flawed, I want you to close your eyes for a moment and I want you to tune into a recent memory that elicits that feeling, that really takes you back into that feeling of I am the problem. No matter how hard I try, things go wrong. I F it up. I always mess up good things in my life. I'm the root cause of everybody else's suffering. If it wasn't for me, everything would be okay. Or, you know, everybody else's life can work because they're not fatally flawed like I am. Just let yourself go into that fear, knowing you're very safe to do so, that I and this beautiful group gathered here together today, both those incarnate and those not incarnate, are here to support you becoming fearless. And when you found that feeling, don't be afraid of it, just sit with it and give it a number out of 10, 10 being the most intense. Now, for those of you who haven't chosen A, you're going to tap anyway because we get the borrowed benefits, remembering that at some level in your subconscious basement, you're probably rocking some of this fear. Remembering your subtle anatomy, your energy body, your soul self doesn't end at the limits of this physical lifetime. So you have undoubtedly had lifetimes where this has been a dominant fear. So what I want you to do now, if you've rated, if you have chosen A and you're choosing to rate it, if you're just going to tap with us so you haven't chosen this one, you don't have to rate it. Although you might be curious to discover that there is actually some fear there for you. And if that's the case, give it a number. Once you've identified that number, as I said, just sit with the feeling. You're very, very safe. You're being held beautifully here. This is a profound moment for you to release this fear. And our hope is after this round of tapping that your number's going to have come down. As I said, I'm intuitively tuning into the group subconscious fear and to those people specifically who've chosen A. So we're going to start by chopping on the karate chop point. Chop, 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 chop. And just 2 fingers on the side of the hand. It doesn't matter which hand you use, and you're just beneath the little finger. And we're going to begin with the setup statement, which we repeat 3 times. Even though I have this feeling of fear, that I am fatally flawed, that I have been forgotten by God, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. And you're just going to repeat everything I say and do. Even though I have these feelings of fear, that nothing can ever go right for me, because I am fatally flawed, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I have this feeling of fear, that I am the problem, and that things will never flow in my life, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Wonderful, you're doing so well. Inside of the eyebrow now. I am the problem. Outside of the eyebrow. Nothing goes right for me. Under the eye. Even if things are good for a while, it's always temporary. Under the nose, because I don't deserve to be happy. Under the mouth, I am a problem. Now we're going to go down to the sore spot, which if you haven't done this before, just find the inside of the collarbone and come down and out about 1 inch. And I like to rub on this spot. When you find it, you'll know, because it feels like a bruise and it hurts to push it or rub it. It's a really powerful spot. I've been forgotten by the infinite. I've been left out, left behind. Under the arm. My happiness is always temporary, because I am the cause of the problem. Top of the head. I don't deserve to be happy. I can't be happy. My happiness is fleeting. Inside of the eye. When good things come to me, they always leave quickly. Outside of the eye. There's something wrong with me at my core. I wasn't made right. Under the eye. And because of that, things will always go badly for me. Maybe not at first, but eventually. Under the nose. I don't deserve this happiness that I see other people have, the success that other people have. Under the mouth. Because I am broken and I cannot be fixed. This tapping isn't going to fix me. Down to the sore spot. Whatever went wrong when I was made means that I am excluded from all the good things. Under the arm. And I just have to get on with that. This is the state of my life. I don't have what other people have. Top of the head. Because I am fatally flawed. The problem is within me. Inside of the eyebrow. I poison everything I touch. I bring bad luck wherever I go. Outside of the eye, sorry. Under the eye. I don't know why. Maybe I wasn't loved enough. Maybe I'm just not good enough to be loved. I'm afraid that I'm unlovable. Under the nose, sorry. Under the mouth. I'm the worst of the worst. And I don't want to be like this, down to the sore spot. I wish things were different, but this is my lot and I just have to put up with it. Nothing can change it. Not this tapping. Not meditation. Not all the things I've tried. Things still go wrong for me. Under the arm. Because I am the problem. Top of the head. I am fatally flawed. Now close down your eyes, place your hands in your lap. Take a deep breath in through the nose, let it go. And if you chose A and you rated on a scale of 1 to 10, I want you to look around now and notice that feeling. When you find it, give me or give yourself a number out of 10, 10 being the most intense. Okay, you see, I wouldn't have chosen that one for myself, but I feel so much better having just done that, because I think that is an archetypal primal fear that most of us have, even if it's not every day, if it's just in our darker moments. That fear is yeah, it's I think primal in everybody. And what we're doing, just in case you're not familiar with tapping, is the reason we speak to the darkest, scariest things is because our natural state, what we truly are, is love, perfection. We are God. And so anything that is ungodlike within us, unloving within us, is simply a mistake or an error. Someone said that in the 3000 Party. I loved it. The idea that just along the line somewhere, there's been some faulty programming in your subconscious mind that has made you believe something about yourself that is simply not true. And so we are simply speaking out the darkness into the light. And what happens when you turn a light on in the dark? No more dark anymore. So we don't need to then positive tap, because we have brought out the toxic poison, leaving the natural, healthy, loving state underneath it. Oh, Katie Cruz, I've got your t-shirt on. It's not your actual t-shirt. I didn't come to your house and get it, but it's the t-shirt that you inspired me to buy. Yay. Okay, so that is A. B is the most popular one, hands down. This is the one everybody chose. Well, not everybody, but the majority of people chose money, 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 money. So let's jump straight into this. And this is the one that is for our dear friend who prompted this gorgeous way of doing the weekly reading, which I was so excited about, because I'd literally been putting out into the infinite, how am I going to shake up the weekly reading? I don't want to do cards anymore. I don't want to take people's power. I want to give them power back. So thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to serve your fearlessness. I just need some lip balm. Sorry, just get my Mugu. Oh, lips. Anyone else a lip balm addict? Seriously. Can't live without this stuff. Oh, another thing I can't live without. I haven't even opened it, Claire, because the packaging is so pretty that I want to do it. I want to do a Facebook Live and open. This is Alchemy in the Raw. These are Claire Deal's beautiful new products, and I'm so excited to open it. But look how gorgeous that packaging is. Anyway, that's happening straight after this. I'm going to open my box. Okay, so let's jump into the issue around money. Am I blocking the flow of abundance into my life? The answer to that is probably yes. But there's no point knowing that. Self-awareness is nothing without the energetic change that is going to allow more abundance to come into your life. Now, our third tapping algorithm that we're going to be doing is about worthiness, and you'll probably see that these two things correlate beautifully. Because of course we are talking about the idea of abundance not as money specifically, although that is a big representation of abundance in our world, but of the idea of what am I worth, what is my value, and what am I afraid about receiving, what am I afraid about receiving in regards to whatever that is. And in this case, the first thing we're going to do is tap on the fear of receiving financial abundance, because that is such a big one. And it's interesting that that language, the fear of receiving financial abundance, is a very specific kind of language, but it's definitely the dominant fear that I'm hearing here. Am I safe to have all of my needs met? Okay, so let's get straight into it. So I'm going to be tuning into the very large subconscious collective mind of all the people who've chosen B, and we're going to be tuning in to see what is motivating this lack mentality that is sitting in that subconscious basement. Okay, and you're simply going to copy everything I say and do. If you've chosen this one, I want you to tune into a fear around lack of a financial abundance, fear of receiving, or any money block, whatever your money block. Remember, it's all fear, but put in your mind a recent memory or event where you felt fear of lack. Maybe it's not knowing how to buy a course or a program that you want. Maybe it's not knowing how to feed your kids. Maybe it's not knowing how to take your business to the next level. Sitting at a particular income ceiling and feeling all sorts of fear around exceeding that. Whatever it shows up for you, I want you to feel into that now. Closing your eyes. Let that fear be there, knowing you're very, very safe. You're being supremely held right now to release this fear and become fearless. And just keep tapping on the karate chop point as you do this, because we're already releasing energy as we do this. And when you've identified that, I want you to give it a number out of 10, 10 being the most intense for that fear. Fear of not getting what you want. Fear of being excluded because you don't have the means to access the life of your dreams. Beautiful. And when you have that number, just keep it in your mind. And our great hope is that by the end of these 3 rounds, you're going to find that that number has gone down. Okay, so we begin with the setup statement, and you're simply going to repeat everything I say and do. Even though I have this fear that I will never get the life that I want, that I will always be excluded from my dream, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I have this fear that I will be locked out of my vision of my life because I don't have the abundance that I need, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I have this fear that I will always be vulnerable and weak, because I cannot attract abundance into my life, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Okay, now we're going to move to the points, and I won't say each of the points now, I'll just move through them, so just keep your eyes on me. Okay, I am not good enough. If I were good enough, I would have everything that I desire. My lack of abundance is reflection of how I am not good enough. If I were good enough, the universe would provide all that I desire. I feel at times I'm being punished. Why do some have so much when I yearn for so little and still don't have it? I am surprised by my lack of abundance. I'm surprised that I cannot attain the things that I dream of. And I'm angry. I'm angry and I'm frustrated that the universe seems to be so unfair and stacked against me. I don't know how I failed, so I don't know how to fix it. I feel impotent. I am powerless. I am powerless to change my circumstances. I am powerless to change my financial situation. No matter how hard I try, nothing seems to change. And that leaves me feeling empty and isolated. I feel disconnected from the abundance of the universe. I know it's out there, but I feel lacking. I'm angry that I don't have what I need. I feel like I'm being punished. I'm frustrated and thwarted. If God loved me, He would provide. I'm a good person. So why don't I have that abundance that I see others attain so easily? I'm angry. I'm good at what I do. I offer myself and what I do to the world, but nothing seems to change. I compare myself to others and I feel jealous, angry, frustrated. I am rejecting the abundance of the universe with my anger, and that makes me angrier. I'm afraid of receiving. I'm afraid of getting what I want. I'm afraid. I am afraid. I am afraid. Close down your eyes, place your hands in your lap, take a deep breath in, let it go out through your mouth. And I want you to look around for that feeling. And when you find it, give it a number out of 10. Now, if that number is above 2, what I want you to do is we're actually going to go into C. So because the end of that round was very much about worthiness and being afraid of receiving, that is very clearly going to show up in I am not worthy. So we're going to all do, if you're here, if you've chosen B, you're going to do C with me now as well, because we can always bring that number down. So what I want you to do is just keep tuning into that feeling. If you chose B, see where it's sitting, even if it's 2 or below, just sit with it. And we'll go into the worthiness, because the worthiness will be feeding into that sense of lack, of not being able to attain what you want, of not being able to move into that sense of abundance. And for those of you who chose C now, close down your eyes. This was the second most popular choice. Tune into a recent memory, knowing that you're very safe to do this. You're very supremely supported to get fearless. And I want you to tune into that feeling of unworthiness. Really let it build in you. Maybe there's a recent event or memory where you weren't chosen for something and someone else was, or you haven't been getting the client bookings that you want, or your partner hasn't been treating you the way you would like, or your employer is overlooking you for a promotion. Whatever it is, go into that feeling of unworthiness and just let it build. And when that number, when you've got it to a feeling straight that's very strong, give it a number out of 10, 10 being the most intense. And we're going to start tapping on the karate chop point as you do this, because of course you're already clearing energy. And this unworthiness is so central to almost everybody on the planet. This is the cause of all of our suffering, is our belief in separation. So really that unworthiness is coming from forgetting that you are the infinite. And when we return to that knowledge, of course, your financial abundance and everything else is going to come flowing into your life with absolute effortlessness. Okay, so even though I have these feelings of fear that I am not worthy, that I am not good enough, that there are so many others better than me, and that I should just stop everything that I'm doing, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I have these feelings of fear that I am not worthy, that I am not God, that I have been forgotten by the infinite, that I am lost and alone and separate, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I have these feelings of fear that I am unworthy, that I have lost all spiritual self-esteem, that I have forgotten what my true fabric is, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Oh yeah, inside of the eyebrow. This is powerful. Let's build here. Let's really be with our fear. Be unafraid to feel your fear of unworthiness, because within a minute or two, it's going to be moved so powerfully. When we tap at this level, we're tapping quantumly, which means we're moving through all of your lifetimes in all directions of time and space. We're going deep into the subconscious basement. Nothing superficial here. I am not God. I have been forgotten by God. And if God is not your word, just replace it with source or spirit or whatever word you use. But no, God for me doesn't have any religious connotations. It's just the infinite. I have been excluded by God. Ooh. I am separate and alone. The flow of the infinite does not flow through me. I desperately want to get back to my infinite nature, but I don't know how. I'm waiting for someone or something to approve of me so much that I finally love myself. I've given away my power to other people's opinions of me. My day can be made or broken by an offhand comment by another. I am unfaithful to myself all the time because I don't believe I deserve my love. I give my love away to everyone else, hoping that it will return to me. But instead I feel empty. I don't know how to choose myself first. I martyr myself, hoping that that will bring me the love that I desire, but it doesn't. I never prioritize myself. How can I? I am not worthy. I wait on other people's approval before I do anything. I am terrified of getting it wrong and being judged even more. So I don't take action. I'm stalled in my own life. I'm terrified of changing, and I'm terrified of not changing. So instead I look for safety rather than adventure. I try to control the external. I try to control my partner, my children, my friends. I want them to behave in a particular kind of way. And if they don't, I judge them. I am always judging, for fear of being judged. I judge first. And then I wonder why I feel so judged. I am constantly separating myself from others. I am withholding my love and wondering why I'm not being loved. My judgment is a form of protection, and it isn't working. It leaves me feeling cold and alone and isolated. I'm so terrified of being judged and being found wanting that I am overcritical of myself to try and prevent others' judgments of me hurting. I close down the world around me by being terrified that I am not good enough. I make myself mean and hard on the inside to try and protect myself from other people's judgments. I am unfaithful to myself. I'm constantly manipulating to try and get external sources of approval. I have forgotten how to approve of myself. I withhold love from myself all of the time. I am not worthy. I am not God. I can never be loved enough to heal this wound. Close down your eyes, place your hands in your lap, take a deep breath in, let it go out through your mouth, and look around for that feeling that you rated on a scale of 1 to 10. And when you find it, give yourself a number out of 10 for what you're feeling now. Now, if it's 2 or above, I want you to listen back to this recording and repeat it up to 2 more times, remembering that you can bring your own language to what you're feeling. While some of the words that we spoke may not feel like they were exactly accurate for you, I want you to remember that fear is archetypal, and the subconscious mind is the level that we're working at. We are never afraid of the things that we think we're afraid of, so we don't know necessarily what is beneath the tip of the iceberg, what is our true fear. And so by speaking these words, you have cleared ancient fear in all directions of time and space. This is a very, very powerful tool, and to do this in a collective energy is just magnificent, and I'm so grateful to all of you. I feel like I've got like so much fearlessness going on. You know, to hear those words, to feel those words, and to say them out loud, it's really like bringing out all the crap that's been sitting in the basement and putting it out on the front porch or on the garden and looking at it in the full light of day and going, oh, that's what was motivating me. That wasn't so bad after all. And now it's outside of me and it is gone. And it's a permanent rewiring of the neural pathways in the brain. You know, tapping has been proven to be an epigenetic. That means we can literally change our physiology by using this, this very, very profound tool. Don't let its simplicity betray its power. It's absolutely applicable to everything. And because it is so freely available, it is the most democratic tool that we have. You do not have to be a specialist. You do not have to go and see someone. You can remove your fear simply by doing this every time you feel fear, and you will get to the point where you'll go to do this on some fearful thought and the fear will just evaporate because it knows what's coming. It doesn't need to stick around. It knows that you want to be free. So use this. It doesn't matter if you just wake up in the morning with a crappy feeling that you can't identify. Just apply this and you will find that your freedom will come. It's a joy to be able to share this with you, and thank you for letting me mix up the weekly reading Wednesday. And I want you to, let me know how this works for you. If anything changed, remember, if your number goes up, that's not a bad thing. That simply means you've hit on something deeper and you need to just go back in and change the language. You can, simply tune in to that profound intuitive intelligence inside of you. Begin with heart coherence. If you're feeling blocked about what you want to tap on, go into heart coherence and then let the fear show itself to you. I'm going to share with you the intuitive intelligence micro method, which is another way to get really intimate with your fear, because it's a hugely powerful tool that kind of adapts parts of EFT, parts of heart coherence, parts of optimal EFT, and brings them all together. Oh, great. I'm so excited to hear you guys are having good results. That's awesome. If anyone wants to share their number, please do, because this is really exciting for me. And if anyone has any questions, just jump in and let me know. And I'm just going to do a quick plug for the Instagram competition. Please, please, please jump on Instagram, share your pictures of what being spiritually fierce is to you. Hashtag I am spiritually fierce, and let's get this movement out into the world. It is entirely in your hands, beloved tribe. If you're able to support me, that would be amazing. Oh, Lisa, that is a huge shift. You're amazing. High five. Virtual high fives to you, my darling. Awesome. And if you go into doubt about, oh my God, is this permanent? Can I truly live in this state? Even though I have this fear that this shift is not permanent, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. All right. Mwah. Have the best day ever.